Welcome to the Advancing Entrepreneur. This show is all about surrounding yourself for success. Hear stories of building traction, gaining acceleration, and creating results from successful entrepreneurs who have surrounded themselves with other successful entrepreneurs. And now, here's your host, Annette Nightingale James.
Advancing Entrepreneurs. This is Annette James back with another episode of the Advancing Entrepreneur, where we help you get traction, acceleration, and results in your business. And this morning we are joined by Keisha Green. Good morning, Keisha.
Good morning, Annette and everyone. It's a pleasure to be here.
Excellent. Well, Keisha, I'm going to introduce you to our audience, but then I'm going to turn it right back over to you so you can expand, all right?
Perfect.
All right. Keisha Green is a life coach, speaker, trainer, and president of Keisha M. Green International. Keisha has seen firsthand how a limited mindset can hold you back, keep you stagnant, and prevent you from creating the life that you want. Now, all she sees is possibilities. Keisha, you got to tell us some more. I mean, we're looking for possibilities. This is awesome.
Yes, absolutely. So, of course, like you said, I'm a certified life coach and trainer, owner of Keisha M. Green International. And what really drew me in was that I was myself so limited before. Everything that came up for me, I always immediately set limitations for myself. I'm not qualified. I'm not good enough. That's not for me. And I did everything right. I did everything right when I came out of school. I graduated, college, bachelor's, master's. So I'm thinking this is just perfect. This is traditionally how it's supposed to be. Wrong. I went through a number of layoffs. The economy was bad. We're downsizing. I'm sure you guys have all heard the same, either from yourselves or from someone else. And I said, it's not working for me. And throughout this process, I always had people coming to me and gravitating to me with different problems and issues. And they just wanted to talk and they wanted to bounce some ideas. And I said, wow, maybe it's something more for me. And from that point on, through some steps, it didn't happen overnight. I just saw nothing but possibilities around me, not just within myself, but with all these people that kept coming to me. Though they saw limitations, I would sit and I would listen and I would observe and I was like, wow, all I hear, all I see is possibilities.
And so very cool, very cool. Well, Keisha, you told us what kind of, that driving force to get started, but tell us what drives you in your business every single day. What keeps you motivated?
Wow, great question, Annette. It's first and foremost, I would definitely say my children and loved ones, because you know, as an adult, you can quickly go on burnout. You can become a little stagnant. Sometimes you're tired. You just go, and you do, and you quickly can become overwhelmed and tired. My children, my loved ones keep me so grounded and motivated to succeed and to do better. Again, not just for myself, but ultimately for them as well. And alongside that, it's just the opportunity to know that you truly can create the life that you want if you just keep pushing. So knowing that you have that power within, as long as you exercise it, it is enough to make you keep going, even when you don't feel too great, even when you don't feel like you want to keep going. It is enough to just keep you moving, knowing that I ultimately have that power within.
And so very cool, very cool. Well, Keisha, I know that you shared with us like a little bit about what's going on, but was there something that finally kind of pushed you off the ledge from being an employee to starting your own business? What was it that made you decide you were going to make a business out of us, and maybe share some of those first experiences or early steps?
Absolutely. And definitely I mentioned it briefly before, but for me, it was the layoffs. When I started to really examine myself and been with organizations in corporate America for 15 plus years. I really start to examine, not so much looking at the company, but it had to have been something within me, not necessarily failure, but maybe something else that I was supposed to be doing. Maybe I was missing something. I was looking at success from a traditional form. You do. You go to school, you go to college, you do all things the right way, you get degrees, you get certified, you get all these credentials, but then it still wasn't working out for me. So I really had to take a step back and do some meditation and self-reflection to figure out what is in this that I am missing. And hence birth the Keisha M. Green International Coaching and Training Practice. Now, it didn't start off for me with training. That came later, but the coaching definitely came right away. It did not come easy, and it was definitely a learning process. I'm sure as it will get into later, but I knew that the calling and the purpose was there. It was up to me to cultivate and define it, to figure out exactly what it was, and for it to make sense for me so that it could make sense for others. So through that learning curve, and we'll get into the whole where the masterminding came in, but I found my voice. I found my calling. I am now realizing my purpose, and it is to serve and to help others. So it's not that typical traditional type of job that I was seeking originally, but the success has definitely come through it.
So very cool. Well, tell me, let's go ahead and jump into that, talk about the masterminding, because of course, at the Advancing Entrepreneur, we are always encouraging people to surround themselves with other advancing entrepreneurs. Nothing is
Yes.
going to move your business forward like doing that. My favorite way to do that is through masterminding. I think it's the most powerful way to do it. There are
Mhm.
some other ways to do it, but did something specifically happen for you in your business where you knew it was time for you to surround yourself with other entrepreneurs?
Yes. Starting a business in and of itself, it sounds so exciting. It sounds so glamorous, right? But it just
I'm gonna
it
sleep
just
till
never
noon
works
and
out.
be off at 3 and have all this money.
Yes, I have all these skills, I have all these credentials, so now I'm an expert, right? Wrong. One thing that I've always realized for myself, and I always share with others, is I learned really quickly that being an expert has nothing to do with your credentials, your degrees, all these things that you set out to do, and all this money that you invested. It truly is your ability to adapt and to become what you actually teach. It's one thing to tell other people to do this and to do that, but you have to be able to walk it. That's what makes you an expert. So I really learned that through my opportunity to mastermind. When I started this business, and I became certified and I had all these skills, I really literally sat in front of my computer and said, "Now, Annette, what do I do with it?" I'm literally just sitting staring at a computer. Where do I
Here
go? What
I
do
am.
I
Come
do?
find me.
Yes, absolutely. And honestly, truthfully, I thought I was the only one going through it. One thing that I did was that I really turned to social media, and I became connected with some individuals. And for them, they always put all this glamorous stuff, all these glamorous posts on Facebook about how their business is booming and life is so great. And I got so many clients. And I'm literally just sitting here. I have nothing. I have skill and I have nobody to share it with. So I started to reach out and I started to investigate. And that's really when I found out what I didn't even know what masterminding was. So I became associated, became affiliated with one group. And from there, I launched out. It was so powerful for me that I launched out and began to host my own masterminding groups. And to this day, when people ask me what's the most powerful thing about masterminding, I still struggle with, is it the skill and the resources that you pick up, or is it the power behind the minds? I think the power behind the minds, the group of individual, like-minded individuals coming together, is absolutely powerful. Things that I would have thought, because I'm this expert, that I would have thought I would have known, they were just sharing this information with me kind of off the cuff. Have you tried this? Have you exercised this? Have you talked to this person? And I'm like, wow, you've got to be kidding me. Light bulb, right? There's that light bulb or that aha or that wow moment. And they, bless you, and those wow moments just kept coming. So for me, the masterminding in the introduction to masterminding was truly a powerful thing for me, especially considering that I had no background in it before.
Very good. I always like to tell people it's almost hard to explain because it's like you were saying, right? The people in the room? Is it the connections? Is it the
Yeah.
brainstorming? Is it the actual technical skills that a lot of mastermind groups teach? And
Yes.
really it's the fact that it all converges that makes it
Yes.
so amazing. And it's actually really hard to explain to somebody who hasn't been in a group before. But I
It
love
is.
how you went out and you were like, this is so good. Other people need this. I'm going to start my own
Yes.
groups, which is how I got started hosting my own groups as well, because it's
Yes.
almost like something you want to go viral, right? It's like everybody should do this. I am
Yes.
crazy infatuated with the idea that every entrepreneur, every business owner should sit in a mastermind group. So that is
Absolutely.
what we are spreading the word. So I love that you jumped in and made that a possibility for other clients in your life too. Um,
Absolutely.
so tell us through your time at Masterminding, and you really captured it very well for our audience. So I'm
Mhm.
glad that you were able to do that. Where you said, sometimes it's just like somebody will be like, "Well, have you tried this?" And I know there have been times when I've been like, "Well, no," but I don't know why not, like because it seems so obvious now that you said it.
Yes.
So, what was a moment like that for you? What was a light bulb or an aha moment when you were like, "Oh, that's it. That's what I need to do," or "That's the pivot," or what give us a time when you were with your mastermind group or an accountability buddy that it was like,
And I'll tell you what's so funny, because I was such a babe to it all. I never really had one individual aha moment. For me, I just constantly kept having wow moments. And they became overwhelming. And I'm gonna tell you, some of the information was so layman's terms. It was literally like I'm sitting there thinking, why didn't I know that? So it's not like this, oh, there's all this rocket science information that was shared. It was information that, as a business owner, when you're starting your business, you are so overwhelmed with the logistics that a lot of the common sense stuff you just miss. You fail to exercise it. So I had so many aha moments, so many wow factors throughout. And I'm gonna tell you, my fingers were burning a net because I was trying to write down so much information. Literally, I wanted to walk away with their social security numbers and their blood types. It was it was so much information that was shared that I mean, literally, not only I could tell was shaping my business, but I look around the room and so many people were gaining so much information from the other participants throughout the group. And what's so powerful about masterminding is not the information that you leave away with, because you go into it feeling like I literally know nothing, but it's the individuals that come to you afterwards and they're like, thank you for what you shared. And you're sitting there looking like, I didn't know I shared anything. You sometimes feel like you don't have anything to offer until you meet someone that's struggling just like you. So not only are you growing, but you are ultimately positively impacting other people's lives, and you don't realize that you're doing it. It's great.
right. It's fun to go into a mastermind group and I've almost go in there with a sense of positive expectation now because it's like, I wonder what idea or moment, you call them wow moments, I'm going to have this time, because you come to expect them.
Yes.
And at first it is a little intimidating. You're like, I don't have anything to offer these people. I don't know. I'm sure you do the same thing, but I purposely make sure that I sit in mastermind groups that are over my head. So I
Yeah.
pay more for them so that I can be in, and I will go in and I will be the youngest person in the room, or I will be, whatever, like the youngest in business or whatever. And I love that. But I'm always like,
Yes.
what am I going
Yes.
to share? But there's always something that's intrinsic to you is what the other person is dying for, So,
Absolutely.
and the reason that it works is it's just the way that we're innately human built, right? It's like, and I tell my clients before they sign on into the group, because they're before you earn it, it's kind of hard to explain. So I'm signing people up for the group, and I used to just tell people you can never give without getting something back.
Indeed.
So that's really the
Indeed.
power of it. You go and you give what you have to give, and you will be richly rewarded. And it just it's all together and synergized inside of a mastermind group. Okay,
Yes, I love it.
yes. So tell us what from masterminding and building your business, where has that brought you? What are you working on now?
Wow. So I see another wow moment, right? It's brought me so much. It's brought me so much clarity and direction. I could never express it in this video conference. where it's taking me to, and I briefly mentioned originally that I started out with life coaching, had a life coaching practice, and I have since opened my eyes and expanded my life coaching practice to include corporate trainings. So now I am able to go into businesses and organizations and share soft skills trainings like communications, effective time management, balance, work-life balance, which is something that we all struggle with, business overwhelm, just so many different things that I'm able to now take in to these businesses and expand it beyond just individual coaching or group coaching, and really get into and affect that business or corporate structure. And one of the powerful things, one of the most powerful programs that I have since developed, that I've been able to take into businesses as well as in my individual coaching, is a program that I created called the ABCs for a Mindset of Excellence. Because what I had realized is, once I started going into these businesses and you start to pour into these employees all these different soft skills, and you sit there and look at some of them like deer in headlights, and it's not that they don't know this information and they haven't heard this information, but there was something missing. And what I realized was missing was that their mindset was not developed and cultivated to receive the information that I was pouring into them. So I had to stop with the soft skills training and begin to go back and work on those foundational mindset training so that they could receive the information that I was talking to them. So, and this all came out of masterminding. These different ideas and resources that I had never considered before all were a product of masterminding, people pouring into me as I was pouring into them. So the expansion and the increase within my territory has been absolutely amazing. I mean, literally mind-blowing, outstanding.
Awesome, very good. And advancing entrepreneurs, if you go to iamadvancing.com and you hit up Keisha in our search bar, Keisha's show note page is going to pop right up, and we're going to link to her website, and we're going to link to how you can connect with her so that you guys can make sure that you follow her and start incorporating the possibilities of your business in your life as well. So
Yes,
very good.
absolutely.
Very good. Well, Keisha, I
Yes.
want to give our audience a little bit of a chance to get to know you better. So we're going to do a bit of a speed round now called Playing
Awesome.
Favorites. Awesome.
Great.
All right. Keisha, tell us, what is your favorite charity?
My favorite charity, and it's kind of unfortunate to me, it was an organization, a local organization called Thrive, the Healing Center for Women. In my coaching, I predominantly work with women. Um, so this organization really spoke to me. They were all about learning, advancing, and developing women. And I say that it was kind of disappointing to me because they recently, due to funding, had to close their doors. And this has happened literally within the past month. And it was very passionate for me. Not only was I a facilitator of their financial literacy program as well as their coaching and training programs, but I was also sat on the board. So it was a passionate organization to me. However, even before that, and even more so since they've recently closed their doors, I have been greatly involved as well in the Goodwill Industries, and predominantly working with some of their women and doing workshops and trainings for them as well on confidence building and boldness and the whole mindset realm. So I would say those two are the two that stand out the most for me.
So very good. And I love that you're being such a good example to our audience of taking your skill set and giving it to
Yes,
charity too. It doesn't always have to be money, and it doesn't always have to be something, completely separate from your business. You can marry the two.
absolutely.
So that's
Yes.
cool. Keisha, share with us your favorite quote.
Ooh, okay. So, and I'm going to give you guys two because they're really, really powerful for me. One was really powerful for me as I started to branch out and realize that there was something more involved in working with people than what I was realizing. And the first one that I will give you is, in order to find yourself, excuse me, I'm sorry. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. and that was by Mahatma Gandhi. Very powerful for me when I saw it, and this was years ago when I first saw it, and this was when I was kind of branching out into coaching and figuring out what in the world, why do I keep getting laid off? It spoke volumes to me, needless to say. And the other one that's really, really passionate for me is we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but an habit. And that is by Aristotle. And that really came to me as I really started to explore this mindset of excellence, helping people to be their best selves every day, and realizing that excellence is not something that you do one day. If you're excellent one day and you're just terrible the next day, you're mean to people, and that's not excellent behaviors. Excellence is, it's a lifestyle. It's who you become. So that quote really spoke volumes for me.
Oh, very cool. Keisha, do you have a favorite discovery and maybe an app or a resource that you use in your business?
I do. I recently discovered when I hired someone to redesign my website. It's an IT and software company, and they had a video conferencing platform called My Secure Meeting. And it was a way for me to better reach my clients who are all around the world, literally. Instead of just phone conferencing, it allowed me to see them face to face. Even though I'm in Virginia, they could be in California, and we had this close up and personal connection. And it's secured, it's even HIPAA compliant because doctors even utilize it for their telemedicine. But that has been my greatest feature because I've been able to host that on my website. So it's expanded me as I have expanded within my business.
Very cool. Very cool. Share with us, Keisha, what is your favorite song?
My favorite song, and it's one of the recent songs, and I won't say it's my favorite song that dates back for forever. You know, we always have these ones that we kind of grow up with that we're really, really partial to. But the song Happy by Pharrell Williams just sums up how we're supposed to be every day, and I love it. It almost got to the point to where it was became a little annoying for other people around me because it's even now my alarm ringtone to wake me up every morning. And it just starts off because I'm happy. And even though we don't always feel happy when we wake up, it's just a good reminder that that is a mindset that we should always carry with us.
So very good. Surrounding
Yeah.
yourself with some positive energy first thing in the morning.
And controlling your happiness, because that is something that we are able to control. We control our happiness. No one else does.
So very good, very good.
Yeah.
And then share with the audience, Keisha, what is your favorite business book?
Ooh, okay. So I have two because they're kind of on two different levels. The first one is Strength Finders. And I was exposed to that years ago, kind of in the HR realm, where it really helps you to dive in and find out who you are as a purpose, as a person, and recognizing your strengths over your shortcomings and how to capitalize on those. And that's by Tom Roth. The other one, which is a well-known, absolutely famous book, um, by Napoleon Hill, which is Think and Grow Rich. So two different categories, but both will actually excel and propel you through life.
So excellent, very good. Well, Keisha,
Yeah.
I want you to tell the audience now if you could give you yourself today, could give a piece of advice to that version of
Hmm.
yourself that was just getting started, what would you
Okay.
say?
Wow. Um, I think the biggest thing for me, and I kind of mentioned it and touched on it before, is do not compare yourself to others and never ever conform to what other people think that you should do. Other people are there to speak life into you, but ultimately your happiness lies within. So you have to be very comfortable with the decisions that you are making. Stretch yourself, but don't do it just because someone else is building their business this way. Build your business the way that you can keep your authentic self first. You want to make sure that in everything that you do, you are authentic because the growth and the expansion will always follow. You will increase your territory if you're 100% true and authentic to yourself and to your clients.
Cool, very good, very good. Keisha, I want you to tell our audience where they can find you and connect with you, and then we'll say goodbye.
Absolutely. You can find me via my website, which is www.keishamgreen.com. That's www.keisham is in Michelle, green, just like the color, .com, as well as my Facebook business page, which is facebook.com// Keisha M. Green, INTL.
So very cool, very cool. Well, Keisha, again, if you will send that information over to us, we're going to link it up to your show notes page on iamadvancing.com. So if our audience is driving right now or something like that, they can hit us up on I'm Advancing, hit up Keisha in the search bar, and we will have all that information linked up for you right on her show notes page. Keisha, thank you so much for taking the time to help our audience advance today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Bye-bye. Smooches.
Thanks for listening to this episode of The Advancing Entrepreneur. If you enjoyed it, leave us a rating and review. Not only will it make our day, you'll also be helping others find this show and advance their own careers. Once you're done, be sure to head on over to iamadvancing.com and join our community to learn what it takes to be an advancing entrepreneur and surround yourself for success. Thanks again, and get ready to advance.